People always ask, where did we get the name Blue Water Climate Control? When a Navy ship casts off lines, exits the harbor, and loses sight of land, that's blue water sailing. It takes a team of people to do that. Tireless work, focus, and attention to detail. So much of starting a business is just like that. After it's done, you get filled with deep satisfaction for accomplishing something. And it's quickly followed by, now the real work begins. We're Blue Water Climate Control.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Buck and 2MC show. Glad to be back in the building. I know Maria's been holding it down. Maria, say what up to the people before we finish out with our sponsors.
What up to the people?
Good job. Let's go. You know what? I'm just going to put everybody up and knock it out just like that. All right. So, of course, we have Just Past It Tutoring. Our guy Nelson Garcia down in Miami, Florida, where learning is made simple. That's where you can get all of your mathematical tutoring needs, K through 12, including ASAT, ACT, SAT, and PSAT prep. You also have Orange Mountain Designs, our girl Terry Holder, your Lady Vol source since 2008, whose store is out in Alcoa on Gill Road, right across from Bracken's. You have Alexis Hornbuckle basketball. I will be picking back up and getting back in the gym come this January. Looking forward to that. The Gold Standard Fitness and Sports Performance Training. Our girl Jamel Johnson, former Lady Vol Soccer, holding it down in Atlanta. She is accepting new clients. Also, you have Volunteer Roadshow. This is the platform we use. Shout out to Bobby Graham, a.k.a. Catfish, and Billy Ratliff. Cannot forget, where's my symbol at? Tap 40 Grill. Sorry, guys, I was looking for it. Billy Ratliff's Tap 40 Grill. You can find us at off exit 112 off Emory Road in Powell. We would love to have you. We are hosting the Powell High School football team. Shout out to them and congratulations on their state championship. And it's definitely Bobby Miller. I said Bobby Graham. My guy BG just had a birthday. He is VFL football 98 championship team, but I meant Bobby Miller. Thank you, Sandra, for correcting me. And did I miss anybody, Maria, on this?
I think you got them all. Good job. It is. I am just glad to see you, man. It is the Buck and 2MC show tonight.
I know. I'm sorry. I've been MIA. I've been working. I've been tired. I'm like, oh man, the show. You gotta start calling me. Isn't that what I text you?
I know. I got your text. I'm like, yeah, I need to call her because it could be any time. It's just a matter of when I can get back to it. And I know that Gentleman Vols and Texas Tech are playing. So if you're like me, you're keeping an eye on it. We'll get this done by 8 o'clock. Make sure everybody gets to see the second half, and we'll do score update every so often too while we can. But we are obviously, our promo video is Blue Water Climate Control, started by a veteran. They actually were at my house this week. I needed a new motor, and it was discovered on the maintenance call. I didn't think it was heating efficiently. And they came out to do the regular winter maintenance to make sure the heat is working and everything's good. It turns out the motor was about to go. They found it on the maintenance call. Otherwise, when that motor would have gone when it was about 18 degrees one night and a Saturday, probably. So they also are veteran-owned today, Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, 1941. I never want to forget that day. And to all of the brave men, women, and service members who died that day. I think over 2,400 service members died that day in service to the country. So it's always something I want to remember, and especially since one of our main sponsors is, of course, Blue Water Climate Control. That was founded by a former member of the U.S. Navy. So definitely wanted to get that in there. Karen Vogel's already here. She was asking me yesterday, y'all gonna do a show? I said, I'm working on it. I got to find Buck. She wants your take on Sunday's game against Virginia Tech. So Alexis, take that away.
Absolutely. I was telling Maria actually that I got the pleasure of having Pat Hatmaker and Michelle Marciniak, Debbie Jennings, and some more Lady Vol fans and friends come to Tap 40 and watch it. So I was glad, number one, we weren't crazy busy and we were able to watch the game. It's all up in the bar. I was proud of how we fought. I was a little frustrated with our defense in that game. I feel like, I know we're not the most athletic team overall, like as a whole. We have some athletes, don't get me wrong, but we're not considered just an athletic team. But in saying that, you can still play good defense, because defense is really about angles. It's about heart, hustle, desire, and tenacity. And at times I just found us lazy, slow to react, a lot of reaching. And I'm like, I'm glad we pulled this game out. But I'm thinking SEC regular season games. Every single game is going to be a dogfight. And if our girls can stick it out in the ACC and do what they did, held it down, figured out how to win, because I'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day. And it wasn't even an ugly win. It was a scrappy win. I saw some good things, but to be honest, I was a little concerned on our defense overall.
That's fair. I think you probably, I didn't know it going in. It was buried somewhere in Virginia Tech's game notes, but somebody, I think UT Stats pulled it out. They had a 63 game home winning streak against non-conference opponents.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is a streak. And it came against Tennessee. Tennessee lost there, and they beat Purdue. They beat Auburn. I had to go way back on their website and find the last time they lost at home to a non-ACC opponent was Old Dominion, November 25th, 2014.
Wow.
So that's a heck of a streak to break.
Oh, yeah. I was proud of us. I mean, because that game could have went either way. I knew it was going to be a tough one before the game even started. So I'm definitely proud of our girls for the win. Anytime I'm giving these critiques, it's more of, I think about when we sat down in film sessions with Pat, Nikki, Holly, and Dean, and even after a win, what are we talking about in there? Of course, there's some good job, ladies. There's always going to be a bit where they show us what we did right. But the majority of that film session was, what do we need to fix? How do we get better? Are you satisfied with this? And so that's the way that I see basketball, is in that way, is in that Summit eye, is in that Lady Vol eye. So I want to see us do extremely well in the SEC regular season. I want to see us upset of South Carolina. I want to see us competing for an SEC championship. And in order for us to do that, it's attention to detail.
I agree completely. And that approach, and Kelly played for Pat. I mean, that seems to be her approach with this team too. I mean, she's going to pump them up, but I mean, those film sessions they're not a highlight session. You're not watching the good plays.
No, you get a few in there. They'll trickle them in, but overall, definitely not.
No, it's not for fun. It's not to cheer. It's like, all right, what were you doing here? Exactly. What was your mindset right here? What were you thinking?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh. And real quick, before we start moving on to a different segment, I'm gonna share this photo. There it goes. Yeah, you see Sandra in the Tennessee, even though we played at ACC school. You see her repping. But myself, Pat, Michelle at Tap 40, loving it. We had a good old time. Y'all would have thought the football team was playing. The environment that we created for that Lady Vol game, we actually left and we put a couple women in charge of making Tap 40 the official watch party for all away Lady Vol games.
That's fantastic. That'll get some people out there. I see Sand's on here. In fact, Sansa, my dog, I've started calling her Sand, and I'm like, can I do that? I mean, I'm like,
did you hear it? Are you listening?
I see her on here. She said, I was definitely going for ACC, laugh out loud, but then I turned quickly to Lady Vol fan again. That's all right. And I was pulling for Georgia Tech over Georgia.
We were too. We were too.
I like Nell Fortner. Obviously, Mickey DeMoss there, Tasha Butt. So
yep. Good crew over there.
But we got a lot of folks here tonight. I haven't shouted them all out, but I'll just do a blanket shout out. Glad you guys are all here. Everybody wants to talk it too. I mean, Tennessee's back in the top 10, where it belongs. AP top 10, number 9. Should have been there last week. I don't know what some voters were doing, but now they're number 9, moved up from number 10 to number 9 in the coaches poll. I know it's just, I've said before, these polls don't matter. Doesn't have anything to do with the seeding. But top 10 AP, that gets attention. It brings attention to the program. So, Alexis, I know you're thinking, man, y'all celebrating top 10. That's not what we did back in the day, but
You know what? It's not. But I am so proud that we are back in the top 10. Um, and now we have to keep climbing. We're off to a good start, and that's the motivation we need to say we deserve this and we can do this. Now, even more work goes into keeping that top 10, but elevating your position within the top 10. I'm trying to see us in the top 5, ladies. Can I challenge y'all for that? I'm not even saying the top 1 or 2 yet. I'm humbly waiting, you know. But yeah, I saw that actually on uh Coach Sam's TikTok scrolling through.
yeah, she does a
Yeah,
good job on social media. She's because that's where
she
the
does.
kids are.
And that's where
Is
you need to and that's where you got to keep them engaged is through that social media.
some people, I think Donna Hairston's one of them, talking about the net. Don't like the net though. They have us at 13.
Yeah.
One on that net, we talked about it all last year. It's measures offensive and defensive efficiency, and one of the things it takes into account is margin of victory. And Tennessee has been in a boatload of very close games. So also the sample size is so small. I mean, you're not going to get a very accurate net with a sample size of 7 to 8 games, depending on how many games people have played, 7 to 9. So that net is going to shift, or it'll sort itself out in conference play.
As the season goes,
I
for
like that
sure.
they put one out early. It's sort of a good thing, but it's that number. Those numbers are going to move all over the place when you get
Absolutely.
into the season.
Um, Tony Hill said that my concern that we wait until the end of the game to turn on the defensive intensity, which can be problematic. I 1,000% agree with you. Well, typically there's no on and off switch. Like 98% of the time with most teams in all levels, there's no true on or off switch. You got to come out and show who you are, what's your identity, hit them in the mouth early and make that staple. Um, it is scary and problematic that we turn it on always in the crunch time. The only good thing about that is at least we're able to turn it on when times are tough. Now, how do we start the game and treat every possession like it's the last? If we can take that mentality and that mindset from the tip off throughout every quarter through halftime, we're in better hands. 40-minute games. That's what you're going for. Now, you may not get that, but if we're striving for that, if we focus for that, I'll take a 35 minutes of focus and great intensity and great defense and chemistry on offense and finishing shots and making free throws over this 15 to 23 minute stuff we're doing right now. But we're getting our wins. We're building confidence. We're building cohesiveness and chemistry within the team. We're seeing that toughness and that they have the fight in them. These are all things that we haven't consistently seen in the past few seasons. So I'll take it for now. For now, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean that ability to do that has kept. I mean, Tennessee could be 5-3 right now instead of 8-0, but that ability to buckle down in crunch time, and this team doesn't panic. And there's, I mean, I've seen some teams that would have packed it in once you got down in that fourth quarter, and this team does not panic, and that's a big deal considering how many young players are out there too. And speaking of young players, what do you think of Sarah Puckett for a freshman? How's she doing?
She's doing well. I actually stated that out loud when we were watching it. DJ was sitting right beside me, so I was like, I like her. I like her game. She plays hard. She plays within her game. She's not trying to do too much. She just shows you that, listen, I'm capable. I can knock down shots. I can create a little bit when necessary. She's a hustle player. I love that. I don't know. I'm a fan of hers. I'm a number one fan of Alexis Dye. You know that since we got her, I'm like, we got a beast. We got a dog. I love it. But I like the things that Puckett is doing on the court.
And right now, Kelly's doing a really good job of getting those combinations out there, getting those dogs on the floor, and getting seeing that Puckett has just got the hot hand and running plays to her. Right now, she's pushing all the right buttons. If you consider Ray Burrell going down in the first game, I mean, that could have torpedoed Tennessee, and it has not.
Yeah, that's a true statement. And I'm sure that many of our fair weather fans were thinking, oh, there goes tennis Lady Vol season. And for those of you who don't think like that, number one, thank you. Number two, it's a team sport. As much as you need your go-to players, your quote-unquote superstars, your double-double players, they still need the other players. And your superstars are very aware of what all of her teammates can do. And I think with the coaches, the grind, the focus that the girls have, and the fact that they want to be in a winning position when Ray returns, that's what's keeping them going right now.
No, I agree. And I'm laughing because the text messages and DMs I got after Ray went down. I mean,
I can only imagine.
Oh, we're done now. The season's over. I'm like, it's one game, people.
I know, Maria. I'm so glad I'm not you. I'm so glad I'm not you. People would have been screenshotting my response.
I'm like writer and psychologist all season long.
Man, I could only imagine because people go crazy.
Oh, they do. And fortunately, I'll give them credit. They don't post it. They just privately message me.
They just vent to you. They vent to you. Which is, I guess, it's a little better because it's human nature to get that frustration. And I will say to those people, and if any of those people are listening, start to watch the game with intention. Understand, Ray's a guard. Guards come a dime a dozen. The guards that we have are more than capable of competing at a high level. You can't go into that type of panic mode. You know what I mean? I know Ray's value and what she adds to the team, but she's a guard at the end of the day. And our team is getting older, and I think Jordan Horston is doing a great job accepting and stepping into her role. It's like when you have that reaction, it's like you had no faith in anybody else in the team.
It's like, well, that's it. People keep asking me about Tess too. Apparently, she got hit in the head on a play inside and wasn't available to come back. People keep asking me, how is she? One, getting injury information, as you know, is it's just, the only person that can release it is the head coach. The players are off limits all the way through exams. You know how that goes. Absolutely no player contact with media. They're focused on exams. And we're not going to be able to talk to Kelly till later in the week. And I mean, I don't get any indication it was a serious injury and something to worry about. But anytime a player gets hit in the head, I mean, you take precautions, period.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. But under every protocol, you have to examine that player. So
absolutely, CTE is real. You got to take those concussions very serious.
But people are just talking. Charlie Cream made Kelly the front runner for coaches. She had said, she's got to be in the early conversation for coach of the year based on what she's done with this team after Ray went out. And I mean, that's a nice comment from Charlie Cream. Is it early? Good Lord. Yes, it's early. That there's a lot to get to coach of the year, but I mean, you'd rather your head coach be in those conversations than not.
Oh yeah, definitely. Maria, I'm going to let you give your opinion on this one. And sometimes, guys, when we post these on the screen, they get smaller. So I'm going to take this off so I can actually read the comment. But at what point will Ray decide to redshirt and come back next year due to this injury? Just curious. That is Mikey Rickman.
I mean, that's a legitimate question. And the honest answer is no one knows. And I doubt Ray even knows. I mean, right now, you don't know when she would come back. Mm-hmm. You don't know what her capability level will be after being off the court. You don't know what degree of injury she's having to rehab and come back from. I think all of those things will be a factor. Now, does she make it back and her draft status remains unchanged? She's still expected to go very high in the draft. That's one decision. Now, let's say that she makes it back and there's a setback or she's somewhat limited. I mean, then you have to start making decisions about that. Is the WNBA draft what you want? Then you would think, well, do I come back a year? Or would you want to just move on with your life like Cassie did? She was playing in Brazil last summer.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go ahead and play pro basketball? All of these are good questions. And really the only person that's going to be able to make that decision is going to be at the end of the season. Where is she at? Where's her career at? And what is her next step? What does she want?
Right.
And that, I mean, before the season started, Ray made it clear this is it. I mean, I'm playing 4 years and then I'm going to the next stage, which she should. She's got the opportunity to make money in the WNBA and overseas. Now you throw a wrinkle into that plan, and she'll have to decide what's best for her, and that's going to mean conversations with her parents, with an agent. Yep. I mean, all of the people with the coaches, all of these things will factor in, and it may not be a decision. I mean, look at Diamond DeShields. She was going to come back, then changed her mind. I mean, this is a decision that may not come until April.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Maria, that's exactly why I let you answer that question. I would have fumbled that one. I'd be like, I just don't know. But that was very well said. And I mean, it's true. Her family, the coaches, teammates, important people in her life, her agent. Yeah, it's going to come down to a lot. And then depending upon the injury, it's going to come down to how comfortable do you feel like where you're at in your rehab and actually coming back. Because even if you opt to go overseas, they're going to want you healthy, and they're going to expect a lot of minutes, almost a full game from you. So how much is your body going to be able to handle, come the end of the season or whatnot. So
people forget that when you're a pro athlete, you're owned by that team.
Yeah.
And you are a paid employee, and your best interest is not always their primary concern.
Yeah. No, hardly ever would be the proper statement there.
Yeah. I mean, overseas, you're on your own.
Yeah. Way
Cheryl
on your own.
Ford said, does she even have to redshirt, or does she have another year due to COVID? Yeah, I mean, she doesn't even have to, quote, be a redshirt. Everybody has that. Everybody who was in school last year has that extra year. So Ray could just take that extra year. I mean, you could call it anything you wanted.
Yeah.
So, and that, I mean, that's an interesting scenario in terms of which players on which teams are going to take that extra year. And if I were some of these 2023 recruits, I wouldn't be putting my commitment off far too long, because some of these rosters are going to, I mean, you're going to have people you thought were leaving who now are coming back.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I understood why they allowed that extra year, but at the same time, it's almost like create a league or something where those players that were supposed to graduate could still play and be scouted and get opportunities to level up in the draft or whatever, just so that you can keep the recruiting class, because the recruiting class never changed. Like you're going to be a year older every single year, and you're going up a grade. That's not going to change. I don't care what pandemic is happening. So it kind of sucks, especially those kids that are kind of on the fence. That, we have this scholarship. It might be the difference between a kid going to a mid-major D1 or low D1 and now having to be forced to play D2 just because the scholarships aren't there. But I mean, I get it. It's hard. It's hard either way.
If you're a top player, and I'm talking elite, like start as a freshman kind of talent, you may want to keep an eye on it before you commit and see who is coming back, because your position may be coming back.
Yeah. And unless you think you built to either beat them out of that spot or humbly accept, being their backup, you're probably not going to go there.
No, I know it's raised all kinds of issues for everybody. So
absolutely. We're down by 6 right now, by the way. Minute and 7 left to go in the first half, 29-23.
Obviously, the little USA basketball news. I don't know if you had time to see this. Cheryl Reeve will now be the national coach. What's your reaction to that as somebody who played in the pros?
Congratulations, Coach Reeves. I enjoyed having her as an assistant and even playing in Minnesota as a head coach. And she knows the game, and she learned, from many different people. But I know a lot of people aren't fans of Bill Laimbeer, but that man's intelligent when it comes to basketball, how to win, defense, and getting your team to run through a wall for you. I think that she took a lot from him and just made that the Minnesota winning culture. She's going to continue that with the USA team. Like it's inevitable. In my opinion, I think they made a good choice.
And I think the good thing too, and we've reached this point, it is such a recruiting advantage for a college coach. I do not think you need a college coach heading that team anymore. It gives that coach such a recruiting advantage, particularly when there's indications that maybe spots are being held for certain players.
Yeah. Indication.
I was trying to be nice.
Maria, now you know how I am.
Right.
But I will agree, Maria. It is best to take it out of the college coach's hands.
Yeah, I was trying to be diplomatic there.
And you know I'm not.
Yeah, your buddy Candace had quite a bit to say, didn't she?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And deservingly so, in my opinion. And I think that she actually probably held her tongue a little more, wanted to say quite a bit more, but I'm glad they made that change though, seriously.
She needs to save that for her book, man. Save the really good stuff, man.
And make sure it's a part of the documentary because I need to see the expressions behind the story. Couple comments that I saw. Somebody asked about recruit. You're hungry for recruiting news, Caroline. Maybe I'll head out a couple minutes and Maria can give y'all. But while I'm on here, no go.
Yeah, there's really not anything new right now. It's all status quo from when we were talking before. Just waiting. Like I said, the 23s, Tennessee's in on a lot of the top kids. I'm not gonna say any names, and there's no indication a lot of those top players are deciding early. It's gonna be a while. So And I do want to put up, let's see, we haven't talked about our NIL. What did I do with that photo? I know I put it up here somewhere. Where are my photos? What did I do with them? I'm going
while you're looking for those photos, Karen Vogel said, do you see any of our LVFLs coaching on the USA team? I could see it. If Kara Lawson didn't go into college coaching, I could have seen her being one of the next, if not the next USA coach, to be honest with you. So I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Here we go. Here's Tamari Key, Jordan Horston with their NIL shirts. Those two are having an incredible season for Tennessee. Nice. They're a big reason why Tennessee is 8-0, to say the least. I mean, Tamari Key, there's just something about becoming a junior sometimes in the post. What is just Alexis, you break that down for us. What is Tamari Key doing so well right now on both ends?
Right now, Tamari Key, she's using her size to her advantage, especially when she's coming out, from help side. She's doing a good job of being aware, and she loves blocking shots. So she's hunting for that basketball. Offensively, she's doing a much better job than the last couple seasons of finishing around the rim. Would still love to see her, do her work a little earlier and get those 2 feet buried in the paint on every single possession, and our guards be able to hit her for good finishes. But I think that her focus is just really on trying to be that person that takes over the paint points and be the one that carries them. She's getting to the free throw line. She's what is she, about 58% from the free throw line? 57, something like that.
There's not anybody really. The free throws are I wasn't even gonna bring them up. They're so depressing.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But she's getting there. Now we got to get her to knock it down. But I think that's what's happening. But a little, if I could offer a few pieces of advice to TK, it's move your feet, especially on defense. Those blocks that you're getting right now, you could double that amount if you move your feet. And then you would shorten the amount of fouls that you get per game just by moving your feet, taking that extra step. And also, so I oftentimes, because we were talking about this when we were watching the Virginia Tech game, when she's going for the ball, you just see her hands kind of following the ball. The ball has to go up. You're already way up there. Let them shoot into your hands and control that. That'll also keep her out of foul trouble. But I think she's doing well. I think that if we can get her playing as tenacious as Kean Green in the paint, you'll see a whole different Tennessee team.
Yeah, and The other thing I'll point out is the minutes she is logging as a post player they're like 34, 38.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my God, that is hard as a post player. For you could have played 50 minutes straight and you'd still be ready to play another game after. We'd be like, let's go again. Post players, man, that is a lot of running.
Yeah. It is a lot of running rim to rim, and they're doing banging on every possession. We definitely got to find a way to try to get her at 30 minutes because she's gonna be on the court 35, 40 minutes come SEC play and SEC tournament play. So as long as she stays out of foul trouble, she'll be clocking those minutes. So we definitely don't want to wear her out. But yeah, they're running rim to rim. They're getting pounded every single possession. But hey, she's getting her cardio up.
And they fortunately got a week between games. Georgia State comes in here, and then they've got 6 days after that, Stanford, then East Tennessee State, and then they have a brief Christmas break. So, but they need to find all the rest they can in December because as soon as you hit SEC play, it's not coming.
No rest for the weary by then.
Oh yeah, Amanda pointed out Puckett's free throw shooting percentage is good. It is, and Horston's been pretty steady. Tamari's been better. I'll give her that. She's been better at the line. It just is just one of those things where as a team, you're going to have to improve because you're going to have 1 and 2 point games, and that's going to be your ball game is a stripe. Yeah. I know we're closing in on the second half. Obviously, Paige Booker's injury. That's bad for her. I mean, she is a transcendent player. I think most people heard it was a tibia plateau fracture, which is the lower leg bone, the large lower leg bone right up against the kneecap. 6 to 8 week recovery. I always point out with every estimate of recovery, it depends on everybody's body, the rehab, what the injury turns out to be in terms of trying to rehab it. Those are just estimates. So it could be shorter, it could be longer. You never know with any injury. Of course, the criticism, of course, was they're up almost 20 points. There's 40 seconds left in the game. Why is she bringing the ball up the court? And I mentioned this when Horston was so close to a triple-double. And I'm like, if you put her back in and she gets hurt, you are never going to hear the end of it, that you were stat chasing for whatever she needed to get. I can't remember if it was a rebound or an assist. Now, you could argue that one both ways, but I don't see the justification for having a player you rely on so much being in the game in that situation at that juncture in the game. But Alexis, you played, so I'll defer to you on that.
You have a great argument. If she's on the court, like Paige Booker, and she gets injured before, or even so let's say she gets it and she gets injured. She gets the triple-double, but she gets injured and she's gone 6 to 8 weeks or even the season. Now, overall, that's a bad decision, right? Looking back. She has an opportunity, knowing how hard it is to even get a triple-double from a player perspective. Put me out there, coach. I'm trying to get this record that's going to last a lifetime. I can get back after this injury, okay? Because I was in that position, so I wanted to go out there. And Pat actually put me back out there. I failed. But the point is, Pat was like, all right, I'm going to give you this chance. What Pat told me was, I'm going to give you this chance. She told me like 3 possessions or something, 2 or 3 possessions. So basically, either you get it within this or, oh, well, so that's that. So you're right. It can go either way. Hindsight's 2020. You go out there, she gets it, you're the hero. If she doesn't get hurt, you go out there, she doesn't get it, and she doesn't get hurt, you're still a hero because at least you let her try. She goes out there, she gets it, but she got hurt. Is it worth it? You're going to get all types of criticism. And then the worst is if she doesn't get it and she gets hurt, they're going to try to fire you. They're coming for your job, So so many different scenarios and ways this thing can go, Maria.
No, I agree. I'm sorry for her. I mean, I hate any player injuries that we've seen this season. I hate it for any player. And I mean, she's a player you enjoy watching. So I wish her the best. And I hope she has a full recovery and gets back to doing the things that she loves to do. So
absolutely.
Trish
Absolutely.
said Caitlin Clark has 2 triple doubles this year. Yeah, she plays at Iowa. Yeah, that's another one that just really good freshman last year, having a good season this year.
Yeah, I like her game. I like how she played. My first time watching her was last year.
I do think in the late seconds of the game, last couple minutes, last 90 seconds, you're not going for any particular record. Maybe get your starters out of there, particularly one you're so dependent on.
Yeah.
I mean, if y'all were up 20, you didn't see you and Parker on the floor. I mean,
No.
unless you only had 5 players, 6 players that game and somebody was in foul trouble. I mean, Pat got y'all out when it was like time where, all right, let's sit them down. Let's keep them safe.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you be on the road too, and she didn't care. She's like, let's get everybody else in. Let's keep y'all safe. Let's rest your body, and let's get ready for the next game. And that's typically what happens,
Yeah, I mean, and coaches worry about injury all the time. Now, I agree, you can get hurt anywhere. You can get hurt at practice. I mean, it's going to happen, but you try to avoid putting your player in a situation where it happens in a place it just didn't need to, and that would be a case of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right on that. Maria, I know we had. Oh, let me tell y'all a cool story. I was going through McDonald's for some fries and a high C orange, like on Cumberland, and this guy, his name was Don. I see him in here. He was like, "Are you Hornbuckle?" I was like, "Yeah, hi." And he was like, "Oh my gosh, I watch your show." He watches the Bucket 2MC show, Maria.
That's all. I see him now, Don McCord. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta love McDonald's French fries too.
Yeah, I know. It's my vice. It is. I'm not gonna lie. I don't need them. Maria, do you have anything else before we wrap up?
No, I'm gonna here's a little Harper. We'd like to say hello to everybody. He's just waking up. His brother's still asleep. There'll be a little terrorist here in about an hour. He'll be running through the house. So I'm enjoying this quiet time.
The quiet time. That's so funny. Chica does that sometimes at like 4 a.m. Before we do go, I do like to share a wonderful experience that I did for the past couple hours this evening. I met up with Wendy, who has the volunteer bus. If y'all haven't heard of that, it's on Facebook and Instagram, literally called the volunteer bus. And went out with her, passing out bread and food and toboggans and gloves and socks. And that's the volunteer bus on the inside. Pretty cool. And it was just that's Miss Wendy. She was showing love and giving love and letting everyone know how important they are. I mean, I can't tell you how many tears, she would just stop and say, "Hey, you're not invisible. We love you. God loves you. Would you like something to eat?" And it was just a really cool experience. That's a picture of some fans. Actually, these people were just at Tap 40. I didn't remember because that was the first time they were there, but they were like, "Hey, yeah, we were just at the restaurant." And I gave that little boy that football. But it was just a pretty cool experience to, use my ambassadorship with X Hunger and link up with Wendy and the volunteer bus and just ride around Knoxville and put smiles on people's faces. So if y'all have any food or anything, clothes, winter stuff that y'all would like to donate, canned foods, bread, peanut butter, non-perishable items are preferably better so they don't have to try to hurry up and eat everything in one day or one setting. Let me know. Reach out to me on social media or reach out to Maria. Maria can direct you to me or reach out to the volunteer bus, X Hunger. So many ways to reach out to me. We'll get it. We just want to reach out to the community.
Mikey said, is there a Venmo handle or PayPal for those who want to donate out of state?
Oh, let me ask Wendy about that. And with X Hunger, we don't have that set up yet. But I'm sure that's something we can get done within the next 24 to 48 hours. So send us a message. I guess what's the best way to reach us, Maria?
That's Mikey that asked it. Mikey, we're friends on Facebook. You can message me. Mikey. And I mean, you could befriend Alexis on Facebook. He's a Tennessee alum and a South Knoxville native too. He lives in Hawaii now. So
okay, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely reach out to Maria or like she said, befriend me, send me a message on social media, and I'll get that information to you, Mikey.
Well, Alexis, as we say in the South, you good people, man. You good people.
Appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We always appreciate y'all support. Most importantly, make sure you continue to like and share. Press the thumbs up button. Press the subscribe button. Share it. Keep coming back. Let us know what we can do better because we want to bring you quality content. And we know the Lady Vols don't play again until Sunday, correct?
Sunday, 2:00.
Sunday, 2:00. And we'll see you after. Hopefully, I'll be able to get my bearings right and we can knock out the post-game show.
I'll call you this time. I will
yes,
call.
please do. We'll knock that out an hour after the game ends. Until then, we love you. God bless you. And go Vols. Go Lady Vols.